Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. Lots of cool stuff to cover today. A busy time. We've been doing a lot of work on the underneath layout, a lot of track ballasting and getting things moving along there. We are also less than a week away from a train show that we're going to be displaying at. Really excited about that, but with that, there goes a lot of building and need to start getting things ready to pack up and move out of the Lego room. So lots of cool stuff to show you guys there. And we've had a number of awesome orders come in as well. So lots of stuff to get through today. So let's dive in and start by looking at the progress on the underneath layout. So really happy with all the work that we've managed to accomplish so far on the under table layout. Lots of great stuff coming together here. I think this is going to be a really awesome addition to the Lego room. Can't wait until we can start to get trains running around this new outer loop and, hooking into the loop that we have over there in the Winter Village area. Things to note since our last video. You can see here we've got our two TrixBrix monster double crossovers. Really excited about these. We've got one on the upper layout that we've had for a while now that's been amazing. And these two additions are going to give us a lot of flexibility and cool options for the under table layout here. You'll notice we picked up the few missing ballast pieces that we had. So these are now fully complete. Can't wait to put them through their paces here. The other big thing that we've been focused on is starting to go through and get all of the straight track that we have for the under table layout ballasted and ready to go. Most of these pieces are in, or most of these track pieces are in this state, which I would call kind of half done. We still need the 2x8 dark blue-gray plates for the sides of these track modules, as well as the 1x2 plate dark blue grays as well to finish that off. And then we can put the railway ties across. And you can see down here, first off, you can see just how many straight track chunks that we've been ballasting here. It just goes on and on and on. Really happy with how they're all looking, but so many parts. You can see here we've got a couple of stacks of track that have those 2x8 dark blue gray plates on there. Looks great. This one just needs the 1x2s and then the tiles, the railway ties to go across there. But really happy with how these are coming together. At this point, they're functional enough we can start to put things onto Mills modules while we wait for those 2x8 plates in particular, but really happy with the progress here. And the next thing that's going to be needed for these track modules is going to be a whole bunch of Mills modules. Now you'll see in various shots around the lower layout here, we've got a lot of Mills modules in progress. So you can see in the different corners, we've got chunks of base plates. Some of them have their 2x2 bricks on them. Others don't yet. You can see at the other end there, the two corners, we've got a bunch of the in-progress Mills modules. So those are all for the corners. And then we also need Mills modules for the straight track sections. So in particular, we're going to need like this chunk right here is going to be a lot of straight track modules. So fortunately, we've been picking up a whole lot of additional base plates here. and a lot of 1x2 bricks to go in there and build up those modules. Going to be a bunch of work to get that all sorted out, but looking forward to starting to put those modules together. We've also got quite a bit of the 2x4 brick for the exterior edges of these Mills modules. We've also got a lot, not enough probably, but we've got a lot of the 4x4 and 4x8 plates to use as the for the plate that tops these modules. So we'll be going through and basically trying to continue to advance these Mills modules and get things to the point where we can then put the last bit of tile and other parts on top to start mounting all of the corners and straight track and the T-junction, the double crossovers. Everything needs to get mounted onto the Mills modules. So that's going to be a whole bunch of 2x2, 2x4, 1x2 tile pieces, and then some various other plate parts that will probably go in and around there. So lots of stuff going to be coming in for that, but I need to clear some space and we need to kind of process through what we have so far so that we can make some room for those new parts to come into the Lego room. But really excited by the potential here. I think it's going to be amazing once all of the track here is mounted and ready to go on Mills modules. I think that's going to be a pretty impressive sight. But while that's going to take a while, I've got some thoughts on how we can do some initial test runs here on the lower layout in particular. So my plan, while I'm getting all of these Mills modules built and the various parts and pieces around the lower layout and the Lego room in general sort of organized and tidied up, I'm going to go through and just construct the overall loop that we have here for the track on the under layout. I think we've only got a couple of spots that are actually mounted on Mills currently here, the bridges and the T-junction, the small T-junction that we have at this end of the layout here. Everything else is just ballasted track. So I think with a few little kludges here and there, we can actually get all of the track that we have here, the crossovers, all of the straight track, you can kind of see them for the most part there, the different corner track parts that we have ballasted and ready to go. Like, we've got pretty much all of the track, or at least enough to sort of get things running and see what gaps we have in the track we currently have for this part of the Lego room. But yeah, my plan is to basically go through and try to set up a rough layout of what this could look like. It'll be nice. It'll give us a chance to see how some of these different modules are going to come together, how they'll look in the sort of final setup or a potential final sort of setup and arrangement. So that's going to be my plan over the next few days, try to get all of that track laid out and hooked up and running. We'll have to do a few things to make sure the transitions between the non-Mills track and the Mills track here work sufficiently for running trains, but not too worried about that. I think it should be hopefully fairly straightforward. So that's going to be one of the things that we're tackling here. And like I said, I think it'll be a nice experiment. It'll give us a chance to see how some of this track could come together, see if there's some different arrangements that we maybe hadn't planned on that we want to try out. But it will also identify any gaps that we have. If there's any extra straight track we need to be ordering, if there's any extra modules that we need to fill in some gaps, or to give us the sort of the access that we need to all the different parts of the layout here. So that's going to be one of the big projects that we're working on while we get the Mills modules sorted out and continue to sort of prep everything for where we want this part of the layout to end up in the well, not, I guess we'll say midterm. I'm hoping to have all of those Mills modules constructed and everything mounted sooner rather than later, but it is going to take a little bit to get those parts in. So this should be a nice intermediate checkpoint to see how things are coming together. Now, also just wanted to give you guys a quick view from this end of the layout as well. Love how this part of the layout is coming together here with the two loops going around where the winter village will be located. Love the sort of the way this should come together and looking forward to actually starting to see some buildings in the middle here as everything gets mounted onto Mills. Also love the fact that this is going to hook into the T-junction there and from there to the rest of the undertable layout. Should be really amazing. Another cool part, I think, for this track over here, we've got our TrixBrix tiles for the railway ties, and you can see I've got the snowy ones here. I think those should be a great addition to the track over here. Going to be working on getting all of that added to the track here ASAP as we try to, like I said, we want to try to get as many things onto the layout as possible, free up some space around the layout to make it easier to not only move around the room, but, also as we head towards the train show, the more access that I have, the more sort of free containers that I have for moving track and buildings and modules, trains, etc., the better. So we'll be getting those railway ties added on here, and that'll help us take stock as well for any additional follow-up orders that we need for railway ties, ballast, etc. from TrixBrix. Hoping that what we've got here will take care of most of the two loops that we have here in the Winter Village area. I know I'm going to need to put in a big order for all the railway ties for the other side of the layout over there. That's going to be a pretty massive undertaking, but nice to be pushing forward on some of these different areas so that we can, free up more space so that we can get more parts into the Lego room here, and ultimately just to be able to find everything that we need, right? The more stuff that's in bags and sort of bags, bins, etc., that's unsorted around the layout, the harder it is to kind of find things and know exactly what we've got. So looking forward to getting that tidied up and, looking forward to running trains on this part of the layout over here as well. Now, as I mentioned, we've been receiving a number of orders as well. So working through building all the latest sets to free up some space around the room as well. You can see we've got the awesome new architecture set, the Great Ninjago City set that just came out, the awesome T-Rex skeleton, lots of Indy cars to build and get mounted on our board on the stairwell. Lots of cool stuff here. So trying to sort through this as well, get things built and organized to free up some space in this part of the room as well. I am also really excited about some pre-orders from Brickmania that have started to arrive. We've got an awesome World War I tank with some great minifigures. Also some great firefighter figures with some cool firefighting themed sets that they did as part of a fundraising effort for the relief efforts for the wildfires in LA. Really happy that they, put some really awesome sets together, and that they were doing that fundraising. I think that's really cool and an awesome part of their company that they do those fundraising efforts. Really happy about building these and adding them into our collection. So stay tuned for videos on each of those sets. And we'll cover those figures too, because the figures are looking pretty amazing. Can't wait to get them out of their packaging there and on display around the Lego room. One quick thing I wanted to show you guys over here on the wall on the staircase area leading down into the Lego room. We've got the new Vincent van Gogh sunflower art set mounted on the wall here beside the Mona Lisa. Really happy with these latest art sets they've been releasing. I think they're great additions to our stairway down into the Lego room here, and they are a ton of fun to build. So really happy to have that mounted up on the wall there, and looking forward to being able to mount more artwork and other Lego sets on the wall here in the coming weeks. Now, before we do a quick tour around the layout to see where everything's at, I did want to highlight, I've been making some progress, although you wouldn't really be able to tell it here, but I've been making some progress on cleaning this area up. We've got a ton of Bricklink orders that have been coming into the Lego room, and a lot of them have been stopping here. So I need to go through, get everything sorted out and organized. We've got parts here for the vinegar factory that we'll be finishing, or well, starting and finishing ASAP, that we've talked about before. It's located down by the grain elevator. So looking forward to getting those parts organized and in use. But we've also got the parts in here for at least three locomotives and maybe a train car. Really want to get those built and in action before going to the train show. So we'll be making a big push to get those parts sorted out, built, and I think it's just going to become a lot easier. Like I said, the more organized I think we can get here, the better off we'll be with trying to finish up a number of these projects. With the addition of the under table layout, we're definitely at a premium for, or I guess storage space is at a premium at the moment. We had a lot of unbuilt sets stored under the table. Those have all kind of moved out and around the Lego room and elsewhere. So looking forward to taming this area. It's going to be a big part of the focus here over the next couple of days as I get things ready for the train show. So keep an eye. We're going to come back to this spot here and looking, forward to hopefully having this sort of organized, cleaned up, and in a better place so that it's easier to access the layout from this end and just easier to move around the room, but also just easier to get some things built and finished. Hard to find pieces when they're not organized, but things have definitely gotten the better of us at the moment, and we're going to be working hard to tame this part of the layout and to get those. Like I said, we've got parts for at least three or four different locomotives from Brick Train Depot instruction sets, as well as some other train cars that we want to build. So definitely want to make a big push here to get that all sorted out and get those models built and in action around the layout. So like I said, want to do a quick tour around the layout and the Lego room so you can see where everything else is at. It's not only good for you guys, but good for me as well. I want to kind of take stock of where things are at. And, like I said, really push to get some things organized and moving along here. Really been happy with the Lego City, but we have not focused on that a lot over the last little bit here, as we've been pushing on the upper track layout as well as the under table layout, but hoping to return to this again soon. We've got a lot of things just primed and ready to be worked on here. So this is going to be a big area of focus. Also really want to take stock of all of the lighting that we have at the moment and what we've got in use, how things look, and where we want to add more lighting. We've got I picked up an awesome order from Brick Stuff. We've got some additional lighting stuff here. We've got some more expansion boards, a lot of wire for hooking things up, and then a number of the connectors here for connecting our different mills modules together. Been really happy with how that's working, but we want to get that, basically want to be running power through the entire layout, but we've done a pretty good job of getting power wired through that part of the train yard over there. So want to finish that off, get power over to the far section over there, and then, continue with some additional lighting and wiring around the track part of the layout here. Yeah, really been happy with how these signal lights work. We've got more, want to get a few more modules like this because I think they'd be really cool to take to the train show. But also just want to get, just more lighting spread throughout the layout. Still very much centered on this part of the layout here. Getting a little better through the rail yard there, but, overall something that I really want to push on over the next little bit. Then we've got a quick sneak peek here of a few more things from TrixBrix that I want to get up and running and show you guys in an upcoming video. We've got the decoupler that they released. I think this should be really cool. Looking forward to being able to run that. We've also picked up a number of their other modules for detecting trains. They've got their servo motors you can use for activating switches. You can activate, I think they've even got a boom arm that you can activate if there's a train that's approaching a crossing. Really cool stuff. So looking forward to getting this hooked up. We'll do some initial tests to see how it works, and then we will consider some different ways that could potentially get integrated into the layout. But some fun additional stuff from TrixBrix there that I'm looking forward to putting through its paces and seeing, just how we might be able to use it. So if we carry on here, you can see the edges of the city. I've talked about this before. I really do want to make a push soon to add some more terrain to our modules, especially these corner modules. I'd like to get some varying terrain heights, get a tunnel in place. I've also started to pick up some parts that I could use for putting in like a river coming along the edge here. Different things, that I'm thinking about there, but that is something that I would really like to get to and start moving forward. Come around the edge here. We've got a number of trains that we will put through their paces here over the next few days as we get things all charged up for the train show. Make sure we've got batteries galore for running trains for a couple of days. It's always amazing how many batteries one goes through over the course of a show, but should be fun. And we've got a few cars to fix up here as we get things ready, but also looking forward to having the underneath table layout more finished so that we can put some of these additional trains that we've got here that don't really have a home yet in terms of a siding that they can sit on. Really want to get those trains onto track so that they can be more easily accessed for running around the layout, but also you know, more, I guess, displayed in a better way as well. Coming around the edge here, still a lot of work in progress projects on this end. More work to do there, both leading up to the train show, but also after the fact. So what I will end up doing is I will post a video closer to the train show. We'll talk about the layout that we are going to be having for this train show, which modules will be contributing. Should be a lot of fun, like I said. It's been a while since the last train show. Always fun to get out, run some trains around on a bigger layout, even bigger than what we have here. And it'll be fun to not only see the public but also the other members of my train group, which, you know, we don't often get together, but it is fun when we do get the opportunity to. So hopeful that it will be a lot of fun. And you know, like I said, it's always fun to be able to take some of these modules out, plug them into a bigger layout, and, you know, put everything through its paces. And, you know, then, like I said, as part of getting things organized, want to get better access to that corner back there and continue to push on our Acro Mills storage containers, get all those Bricklink orders sorted away or used if we can get everything built right away as well. So lots of work ahead here in the room. We've been making progress, but still a lot of things to go, which is fun. This is never going to be a finished, it'll never be a real finished state here. It's always going to be more things getting added in, new features that we're adding to the layout, but you know, it's fun. Want to highlight that back corner over there as well. We've got a few more models that are going to be going in up there. Love the fact that we've started to put our Bricker Builds models there on that nice shelf that we added in. We've got a few more of their Mario related builds that we're going to be getting finished up soon and hopefully added to that area there. And we're not going to go in right now because my build room is like massive chaos, but that is one of my projects here too. As I clean stuff up, I want to get that room tidied up. So we'll talk more about that in an upcoming video. So lots of fun work ahead here in the Lego room and a lot of fun adventures on the way as we, you know, like I said, head to this train show next weekend. We're also heading in towards convention season. There'll be a number of conventions that we're going to try to get to this year. So lots of cool videos ahead on the channel. So if you have not subscribed, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And, you know, like I said, really looking forward to the projects here around the Lego room. Looking forward to seeing how the lower layout comes together. A lot of interesting lighting stuff ahead as well. And, you know, honestly, just looking forward to a bunch of the sorting and organizing that we have ahead of us as well as we, you know, try to tame the chaos of the Lego room and, you know, sort of set ourselves up to build a number of the interesting projects that we have on the slate for this year. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.